Hey, I'm Thomas Warland, and my magazine is called Bleed to Red. Alright, evaluation. In what ways does your media product use, develop, or challenge forms of conventions or real media products? I used traditional keys, features from my front cover, like skylines, mastheads, which you'll see later as I bring up the magazines, and use of fonts that were relevant and commonly associated with my type of music, which I went for, which is rock music, gothic rock in general. Yes, the font I used from a site called Defont, which was the writing was bold black wrapped in barbed wire, which, as you can tell, is associated with that gritty grime look. Next is just a couple of sketches which I did so I could get a basic look out of how it would later develop into what will be my magazine cover. Yeah, these are basically a couple of designs, and this one is the one which I used in the end. This is my double page spread. A good look. Now throughout all three contents, double page spread and main cover, I went for the black, red and white look. Now this helps the writing stand out a lot better, and it also gives it that gritty grunge look of my magazine. And here is my contents and my main page. As you can see, I used here bleed into red. I've also got it faded slightly, and the red in a crimson red colour, which gives it that strong look. And obviously on the left third, I've got all the important stuff: death music, emo, Satan's rock, thrash music, rock, oh my god, your shouts, which all spell out the word destroy. On here I've got, on my contents rather, I've got the layout I thought worked very well, and I've used the traditional red, white and black. How does your media product represent particular social groups? Well, I used my front cover the type. I used on my front cover the type of language which is commonly associated with rock music lovers, and the front pictures were also related to the type of music on my magazine, and it tells you what it's about. The picture I used was dark and in a graveyard, which links to the idea of death and death, goth rock, and so on. The masked man who's standing there, which is me, is dominated with is standing dominantly while the camera is looking up towards me, and there's a grave in the way as well. And I already mentioned the mask head, the red, is a dark crimson colour. What kinds of media what kind of media institution might distribute your media product, and why? Now, my magazine is going to be a mainstream magazine, and will be sold in most, the biggest establishments, e.g. Tesco's, H&V, and most news agents which you will find on the high street. Because my magazine is solely dedicated to live rock music events, which has a huge fan following, that the competition, there's a big following for this, so the competition won't be that great, and it should sell very successfully. My distributor is IPC. Here's a graph which I did a survey earlier on in SurveyMonkey, and then posted it on Facebook, and the results I got was
So this question is, where would you expect to see my magazine sold, yeah?
Yeah. I'm just linking it into what most people thought where it should be sold.
Yeah.
So this graph shows most people thought newsagents, HMV was the second popular. Not many people thought that paper stands or Waterstones would sell my magazine. Yeah. The reason for why it says 100% and over 50% is because you're allowed to choose more than one option, just in case that there was any confusion there. Who would be your audience for your media production? My audience are everyone who loves rock music and interested in live gigs. My magazine tells people where the good gigs are happening, where they can find it, has good interviews with different artists who are also be endorsing their live performances, reviews and such on, so on rather. But my main audience will probably be young adults, males, around teenagers up to in their early 20s. Yeah, this is a graph which just shows you what the majority of people thought my magazine was. Most of them clearly thought it was rock, which means that I successfully made the front cover identifiable to that genre. How did you address your audience, include evidence of audience feedback? Okay, I found out from my survey, which I told you earlier, that I made a survey on SurveyMonkey, that a lot of people would buy my magazine if it had a good free gift, which I went ahead and that will be with every gift from now on, because it's the majority vote and sounds like a good idea. I would make it clear exactly what my magazine is about, with bold lettering from my main cover line, the greatest gigs ever. I also place my main selling points on the left third so that the buyer can easily see the most attracting points of my magazine and see what's the content inside. The graphs, there's no graph, sorry. There we go. Yeah. The graph shows that over half of the people who did my survey would more likely buy the magazine if it had a free gift, which I just said. And then you have, it's pretty much neck and neck here with yes, no, and maybe. Pretty undecided. Okay. Looking back at your preliminary task, what do you feel you have learnt in the progression from it to the full production? Well, I'll come back to that one. What have you learned about technologies from the process of constructing this product? I have also learned to construct a magazine cover successfully, a contents page and a double spread, through using layers in Photoshop, which I did not know how to use beforehand. I found out all the most important selling points in my magazine and what attracted people towards it, so I went ahead and used those conventions in my magazine. I think that's my last one. Oh, here we go. I learned how to do this so that my magazine could look professional and outstanding.
Okay, what other technologies have you worked with apart from Photoshop during this year?
Which I haven't used before.
Yeah.
I had never used SurveyMonkey before, and I have never used Blogger before.